Broadcasting live. It's America's longest running talk show on computers. It's Computer America, bringing you the biggest names in technology with guest interviews, new products, and your emails. Listen live at computeramerica.com on any device around the world. Email the show at live@computeramerica.com or find us on social media. Be sure to check out our website for contests, giveaways, show notes, live video stream, podcasts, and more. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome into the Computer America Show. We are the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers and technology. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Ben Crossman, and I hope all of you are having a fantastic day because, hey, we have a great show planned for you, where in the second part of the program, we will be doing computer and technology news, and that's where we follow up on all tech stories, things like that, things to, kind of keep you up to date, and important stories, articles, products, things like that. So you want to stick around for that. But in the first segment, as we are wont to do, we have a guest, and I'm really excited about today's guest because, hey, I believe they've been on the show, but it's been quite a while, far, far too long, and I'm happy to have them back on. So we will be talking to a company called Nero, and they have their new product out. I believe it's Nero 2019, we're going to get all the scoop on how it works, what it does, and everyone, you're really going to want it to, pay attention to this one. So a couple of things before we get started, including computeramerica.com. That's where you'll find everything from the show notes to anything, to anything and everything in between, articles, reviews, link to our guest website, everything like that will be available at computeramerica.com. Also, be sure to check out the live video stream over at twitch.tv/computeramerica and the social media contest brought to you by Logitech. All that and more right there. So without further ado, I think we're just going to jump right into our conversation and, hey, get talking about, Nero and what it can do, what it has to offer. And, hey, for a lot of you out there, I know that productivity is king, and this is a very full-fledged, kind of product suite. So joining us on the show today is none other than, let me get this absolutely correct, Mr. Daniel Benz. He is the Vice President of Global Sales for Nero. And Daniel, thank you for joining us here on Computer America. Thanks for taking the time.
Well, thanks for having me on the show today.
Yeah, our pleasure, our pleasure. So why don't we go ahead and start with a bit of background on Nero, the company, when did it get started, and a bit about yourself. How did you find yourself working with the company?
Well, about the company, I think some of the older audience still remember us back from the days when we would still burn our CDs and DVDs. That's our origins from Nero back 20 years ago when that was big. So over the years we've evolved or developed a complete multimedia suite around. Well, started with burning, then with video editing, and backup became more important. And nowadays we cover everything from editing, video, audio, photo editing. Streaming is a essential part of our suite, as well as all backup functionalities, whether that's in the cloud, locally, still on optical discs. And hey, some people still burn their CDs just to listen to music in their cars because their cars still don't have internet connections. So that's what we do nowadays. My personal background, I've been with the company for over 15 years now, and it's been exciting times ever since. So I hope I can answer your questions because I got quite a bit of experience working with the company. So
yeah, no, that's great. And actually, I was talking about this interview coming up with with our previous host Craig Crossman. He's still, of course, here, but I was talking with him, and I think he remembers that Nero was actually a sponsor of Computer America back in the day. Like, we've been on the air for 27 years. So Nero, just a fun fact, just saying. So, but yeah, definitely past time to catch up. Maybe we could schedule our next one, before 20 years pass again. And let's go ahead.
You definitely should.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and talk about, kind of flesh out more what you do today. Like you said, burning CDs, it's still a niche product, and much like the fax machine, it's probably never going to go away in our lifetime. But that's obviously not the bulk of what you are pushing with Nero. So, everyone out there, if you want to check it out, Nero.com. If you, we'll have a link to it in the show notes. But talk about primarily, I see it right here, front and center on your website, Platinum. The multimedia king. Talk about talk about your suite, what's available, and just give us a quick run through, and then we'll go back and kind of hit each one in more detail.
Yeah. As you said, burning has become a niche product. Like as you said, it's like the fax machine nowadays. Still around, but it's not in the middle of our lives, and how we share, how we consume content, how we store content. For us, our latest product is the Nero Platinum 2019, which is, as I mentioned earlier, it's a complete multimedia suite, and we I think we still essentially do what we did 15 or 10 years ago. So we're facilitators for the consumer to share their content, store their content, trim their content, and edit their content. And back in the days, the result would be on a disc. So you would have a CD, DVD, and share it with friends, or store it at home, or watch the video on your DVD player. Today, you still do the editing, but you don't put it on a disk anymore. You store it in your cloud, or you have it running on your server at home, and stream it to your television in your living room. And that's all a part of what Nero offers. So basically, Platinum has it's a suite. So it's not one single program. It has 6 different applications inside. One is for editing, like a video editing suite, video editing program. Another one is it's called Nero MediaHome. It's a media management application which sets up your PC as a streaming service in your household. So you basically can have your with Nero your PC running in the background and stream content onto your living room or to any other device that's connected in your network.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean we've had other products here on the show that do the same thing, and I don't think anyone has a one-shot solution. I'm not saying that that there's only room for one space in that field, but it's something that I think escapes a lot of people just how useful it is, because so much of our content is streamed over the internet. So much of our content is, just downloaded or stored on Spotify or whatever. Right. And you never really get the idea that you own your content. But like you said, some people, they do have thousands of movies on hard drives sitting around. They have thousands of songs sitting on hard drives. Being able to turn your computer or even just a dedicated hard drive into a network, into network attached storage, and essentially make your own Netflix. It's it's something that I think is really gaining popularity. So very, very cool that you do that.
That's one thing, and it's not only that we have that content. I mean, we have more and more content every day. Whether that's personal content, like my own videos I shoot, or I have commercial content sitting at home. Like I rip my DVDs. I have music which I bought as MP3s, and they're sitting on all these different hard drives, and it gets increasingly difficult for us to actually organize the content. Where did I put my whatever DVD I watched 20 years ago, or the videos from my vacation 5 years, or the wedding of my sister, or whatever. And that's where Nero comes in with MediaHome. MediaHome is also the application of MediaHome is also a management tool. Basically, I can manage my content, and it gets sorted in different ways. So basically, obviously, I can search for content via the timestamp, but we have face recognition included. So if I do run a face recognition over my content, I will find I can search via people. We have geolocation inside. So basically, I can search, the vacation in Mexico, and just look for Mexican pictures that were shot in Mexico. And I can combine this all. So basically, I can say, show me all the pictures I shot in Mexico with my fiance in it, and which any time between 2014 and 15.
So,
and they will all come up, and I can do a slideshow in a fly with all these pictures that meet these criteria.
That's super cool, and of course, depending on how you actually do that, you either have one of the most advanced programs that we've ever seen on the show, or I'm assuming it kind of compiles the I believe it's called kind of like the metadata, but there's a better term for it behind the scenes, like it's attached to the file. And it sorts all the photos by the data that's associated with them. That is so super helpful because even ourselves, we have we have one person in our house in charge of the photos, and he just kind of uploads them to a hard drive. And no one has worked up the courage in years to go through and delete duplicates and sort and do that kind of thing. That is really, really impressive. I mean, you mentioned face recognition as well. Are you able to search by people, or yeah?
You are able to search by people. Well, the face recognition mechanism takes time when you start it the first time, because it needs to analyze all the pictures first of all, and then once that's done, so normally it's on off, because we don't want to overload the user when he starts the first time, that the system is analyzing all the content, and it takes ages. So, but they can turn it on, and then it analyzes all the pictures, and it starts with matches, which it detects pictures, different pictures, and shows via just pictures. This is I found. It says I found 100 pictures of this person, and then you have to add the name. So basically, it learns while you do that. So basically, you put the name. That's Ben, for example. You say, okay, that's Ben. So then it knows, okay, this is Ben, and then it comes when there's new pictures, and the system is not sure, because there might be pictures from different ages. You might have pictures. You might have pictures on your hard drives that are 20 years old, and
right.
I looked different when I was 20 years old, believe me. So maybe I had long hair, and now I hardly have any. So the system needs to learn and says, oh, is that still Daniel? And then you say yes, and then it gets more sophisticated, and this is the way you do it. And once you've done that, that's work you have to do on your own as well, because system doesn't know the names, but then you can basically search just via names, and you can do combined tags. As I said, give me all the pictures with Daniel and Ben together in a picture, and then it will give me automatically that compilation.
That is
And
super cool.
another thing you mentioned is the duplicates. We also have a duplicate manager. So what happens a lot of times, what users, and this is actually a functionality we developed because a lot of users, a lot of Nero users came back to us and said, look, I'm managing my content with Nero, but I need, my problem is that I put, I for example, I shoot my photos with my smartphone. Every once in a while, I dump the photos on a hard drive. I forget about it, and a lot of times I don't erase the photos on the phone. And then the next time I just dump the duplicates again. On another hard drive. So I create a lot of duplicates, identical photos, which just consume space on my hard drives in my house. So in order, and it's so time consuming to go through all the folders and say, do I have this picture elsewhere? Do I have this? Is this folder identical with another folder? So we created a duplicate manager which does it automatically. You just say, analyze hard drive A and hard drive B and show me all the duplicates you found and just erase them. And then I have just one. I can immediately get rid of tons of content, of duplicate content, which I wouldn't need and have space on my hard drive, new space on my hard drive.
Right. No, makes perfect sense. And trust me, that's that's a very good feature. I mean, I wish other people had shown me something like that. So I'm glad that you at least have something like that. I've been guilty of that myself. So very, very nice. So that's Nero MediaHome. So before we go further, there's a couple more kind of products here, and they each have a purpose. But just kind of say overall, just for this entire suite, talk about who your really target is, because a lot of these things are can either be for just your everyday computer user. Some of them can be for more serious maybe hobbyists or professionals working in, let's say, video editing, things like that. Who is your target market?
Well, the target market is just the regular consumer, consumer. So it's well, we say everybody that works with content. That's why it's a suite. It's not a specified just one application, which is the very, very focused on one single topic like editing. So we're like a tool set for all your multimedia needs. So we're targeting consumer and the advanced hobbyist, and also we're not targeting professionals. So if you are a very professional photographer or you work in professional video editing, I mean there's other programs which cost hundreds of dollars and probably have a lot more features. But in our range, I mean the Platinum Suite is the MSRP is $129. You get six applications. So it's quite a big toolbox for the consumer. I think we're doing we're covering 99% of the consumer's needs, and as I said, we're targeting not only consumer but also advanced hobbyists. We have in most of our programs we have a two-sided approach where we say, for example, in video editing, Nero Video is our video editing is fairly professional, but you can start with a easy mode, like a starting mode, which is all content. It's all template based. So basically, you can create videos and edit videos in a couple of clicks. Once you get more professional, you can always jump into the advanced mode and then do all the editing and down to the effect, trim the effect, and then that's not template based again. So you can always jump between those two modes, and you can, as I said, there's two options. You can do it you can do a video in 5 minutes, but you can also work the whole the whole weekend on a video and do everything the way exactly you wanted to do. And that's the beauty of the suite and of our approach that you grow while you work with, for example, Nero Video and that application.
Right. Yeah. There are a lot of there's actually quite just a select few applications at the very top end that that like a lot of professionals kind of demand, and there's industry standards. And then for kind of the extremely low end, there's a lot of free programs and free software that is very, or can be non-intuitive and not very user friendly. And then there's not really a lot of middle ground in somewhere in there for, I guess, people who hey, would appreciate a number to call and some guides and a website and a product like this. So very, very cool that you were able to kind of strike that middle ground. So as I said, there's a couple more products in here in the Platinum Suite. This is one. It's like video editing, okay, content management. I'm like, I get it. You're gonna want to manage your content if you're editing video. Those two kind of flow together. And then there's this next one that, now that I say it out loud, it actually does make sense. You want to protect your data. So talk about backup and kind of how you do this, because everyone seems to have a little bit of a different way.
Yeah, well, backup, I mean, everybody talks about it.
But no one does it.
80% of the people don't do it, I guess.
Right.
or they start doing it when they lost something. So backup, I mean, it's an essential part of actually all our multimedia of a multimedia suite, we believe, because if you take your time, manage your content, edit your content, you want to protect that, as you said, and our approach again has been a very simple approach from a consumer side. We protect. Our focus has been on the content, so we don't do a complete system backup. We want to make sure that all your content is safe. All your content is safe all the time, and you will always be able to actually get that content back onto your system when your system breaks. But we're not doing a complete system backup. So it's a very easy setup scenario. So basically, with Nero Backup, it's a couple of clicks how you can start a scheduled backup, and then it's just always running. So basically, you select. In the beginning, you select the source. You want to do an online copy, an offline copy. So basically, you want to do it do the backup into the cloud or onto an external hard drive or anything connected to your PC. And then you select. You want to have all the documents, everything that's content on your system, or you want to define select content, like you want to say, I just want to make sure all my photos are safe, or all my music is safe, all my videos are safe, or all my documents are safe. You can select that, but you can always go, as with Nero Video, you can go into an advanced mode and do it all by yourself. But that's just the easy one. And then you schedule the backup. You say you want to just do one backup. You want to do it every day. You want to do it every week, every time before you turn off the system. And once that's scheduled, you go and it automatically does it, and you don't have to worry about anything. And hopefully your system never crashes, and then you don't need it. But if in case it does, and sometimes they do, you will have your backup, and then you can just restore it with backup again. It's a very easy program, and you will be surprised. People that lose the data are surprised, like, why didn't they do this earlier?
Right.
And set it up. Yep.
Right. No, it's you're right. I mean, there are many stories of people out there who, after some kind of natural disaster, or even worse, just really nothing and it just randomly happening, they always ask, how do I get the data off of my hard drive? It's the only place it is. And in a lot of cases, in a select few, they're able to pull it off with, a lot of time, energy, and effort. But it's much easier if you just use something. I see here that you use things like OneDrive, Google Drive, which a lot of, which actually I think just about everyone has access to. So, you integrate with some very big names. That's definitely good to hear. So
that's also. Sorry. That's also something on the online side where we believed, I think a lot of companies, they offer their own online solution. And we said, we want to make it as simple as possible. I mean, we don't want the user to have another, a Nero cloud or whatever.
And something that
people already have their big cloud providers.
Right. I mean, something that I think happens is that they, by the other backup providers, and there's really nothing wrong with it. It means that they kind of set the standard for their quality of protecting the data and blah blah blah. But like you said, a lot of people already trust Google. They already trust Microsoft, and
right.
and in some ways, I feel like it's a business move that they can provide a monthly fee for handling your data, whereas with your plan, you get it, you pay for the product, and hey, the data is held somewhere else, so you don't, you're not charging the customer for just doing what your product is supposed to do, without a fuss. So I do like what you do.
Okay, thanks.
So yeah, all right. So there's back it up. Let's talk about rip and convert. As someone who's been working more and more with different types of video, converting audio, converting video, ripping these tracks, it can get very confusing and in some cases downright impossible because the right codecs just aren't available to you. You really need a product that's kind of like a Swiss Army knife when it comes to these to these tasks. So tell us about rip and convert.
Well, that's our product. Was called Nero Recode, which is for the ripping part. It's probably the most niche product we have in there because there's some users never bother about about converting to the right format, but then the results might be it might not run on a system. It might not be optimized for a certain device, and also here again. We have the two-sided approach. We have a template-based, so basically you just say, you select the source and say, select the device, and we have created profiles for all kinds of devices, so whether you want to have it and resolutions, so whether you want to have a video project converted to a optimized for your iPad, for example, it automatically does it. So we have the different profiles of the different iPads in there for all types of smartphones, but also for 4K. If you have shot a video and you want to have it optimized for your newest smart TV in your living room, it automatically does it. At the same time, if I'm experienced with codecs, I can go down 1, 2, 3 levels and really set the parameters on the codec side and say I want to have it optimized this way. So it's a fairly professional one, and it helps users save a lot of time and effort. Actually optimizing especially their projects, because nothing that's also something I remember back in the days when you had the first not even smartphones, when you had the first mobile phones that actually could play back a video, and you couldn't get it to run on a certain device because it wasn't simply optimized, or the hardware wasn't supporting the codec. So it was hardly. It was nearly impossible actually to get it on onto a certain device to play back. And nowadays it's a lot easier, but still nowadays sometimes you do something and you find out later that it doesn't look good on that device, and that's what we want to avoid. And that's part of the Swiss Army knife, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, just personally, like, it's not impossible because, we do the show, we record the video, we also record the audio, but, to get it to the different services that we use, the radio station takes one, and then the podcasting services take another. It's not even that I need some weird codec or some weird format from Madagascar that only two people have. It's more that I need just a very blatant this format to this format, and I need to do it quick, easy, simply a few button presses, and it just works. That, in that level of productivity, at least, and again, I can only speak for myself, but that level of productivity saves me, just tens of minutes a week. But of course, add that up over the course of a year or a couple of years, that's hours of my life that I'm not sitting there just, pressing buttons and waiting.
Yeah, absolutely. And
yeah.
So it's for those who use it. This is we have a lot of fans really that really love the Recode product. So I think they really appreciate what it does.
Yeah, absolutely. There's that one. The next one, it's kind of blends some of your other products into the same one, though. Although this, like you said way at the beginning, you guys are known for burning CDs and burning media. And hey, looks like you still do that. Who would have guessed? Talk about burning ROM.
Well, burning ROM is our our classic product. I mean, this is with what it all started. I mean, 20 years ago, Nero was just burning ROM, and it's still people still. Especially the older consumers, like the 50 plus, they still burn their CDs, DVDs. They still have a media library at home on optical discs, and they want to share that. And we try to put in every once in a while also new functionalities if there's something around. So obviously we're supporting all the, it does Blu-ray now, and you can do Blu-ray burning. It's a very, very complete burning tool. And again here, the burning ROM interface is still fairly advanced for advanced users, but again, we have a interface which is called Burn Express, which is part of the burning ROM scenario, where again you just do a burning project in a couple of clicks. What we also have is, and this is part of the suite, but the suite, the whole suite is essentially a suite for the PC. Mm-hmm. We also have certain mobile applications which we call is like companion, which are companion applications to work with the suite to build bridges between the different ecosystems. And for example, we have an application for Android and iOS, which is called AirBurn, with which you can basically burn content or create a disk with content that actually it's not sitting on your PC or in any device connected to your PC, but it's still on your mobile phone, for example. So one scenario, I shoot a lot of pictures with my phone. My dad, who's over 70, he always wants to have something physical. So he asks, can you put me all the pictures? Can you put me those pictures of a family reunion, for example? Put it onto a CD, and I don't have to download the photos from my smartphone anymore. I just make the compilation on my smartphone and send the burning request to my system in my house via my network, and then it will create automatically a DVD or CD.
And of course, anyone out there watching the video portion, we are, kind of picking through the mobile apps. Looks like for almost every single product that you have, there's an accompanying mobile app for it, and some of these are even standalone, even besides. But you're right. I mean, that seems like a product that not a lot of people need, I'll be honest, to burn from your phone, your smartphone, to a CD. But it's one of those that if you ever run into that situation where it's like that would be really handy, I'm sure they'll find this and go, "Holy crap! Someone actually did that. Who would have thought?" And like you said, being able to hand a CD or hand because I think a lot of us are used to just being able to text a picture or upload something into a share drive, but not a lot of people, or at least some people just don't work well in that environment. So that's something very, very unique. And like you said, you have a lot of different, kind of mobile apps here that, maybe we can hit the highlights. But I did want to wrap up with the Platinum Suite because, you hit, I think, all 6 of the different ones that are available through there, and you can talk about price real quick, but then you can also talk about real quick, I think this last one, and it has a different name, so maybe explain that one, but Audio's music recorder. So, please.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is another application we put in. It's actually it has a different name, Audios, because it's a co-development by a partner company of us, which is called Audios. So, what it does, it's actually a tool to record music from the internet without actually record music off the internet from radio stations, which transmit the music. So basically, you can the tool once you're online, it automatically detects hundreds of thousands of internet radio stations, and you can search via genre, for example, or even concrete requests. You want to listen to the Beatles, and the Beatles will find music from the Beatles, and then it can say, okay, I want to record only Beatles music, and please it automatically. So it's not downloading, so it's nothing illegal. It's just grabbing the stream while it's been played on the internet, and it will record that stream automatically. It will grab it and put it on your hard drive, and you will have that music. It will automatically be tagged, so we use a tagging service as well. So you automatically have the name, the Beatles, Hey Jude, and if there's album arts available, automatically puts the album arts on that and MP3 or whatever the stream was. So this way you can, if people still have their, if they're not like if this older generation and they're not used to actually just not owning music, but they just do the streaming without owning the music, and they want to have their own music library. It's an easy way to search for content which you haven't had, and it's a 100% legal way to do that.
Yeah, no, it's that's certainly a very, very unique product. So, this hour is just flying on by. So I did want to talk about some of these mobile apps, like we were saying. Some of them are just. I'm sorry. We didn't talk about price. So you have a Platinum and a Standard. The Standard does not include, I think, 2 of the products that the Platinum does. Talk about the payment schemes and how that works.
Okay. Well, as you said, we have 2 versions, Standard and Platinum. The Platinum has the full power, the 6th application we just talked about. It's available for $129 MSRP at our website, as well as in retail stores across the globe, really. And the Standard, it's priced at 99 MSRP and has just 4 applications. So the 2 that are missing is Back It Up and the music recorder. So that's how that's what we offer. On top of that, we for previous users of Nero, there's always upgrades offers on our website. So they can buy upgrades. They're starting, I think, at $45 something. So it really depends on what they had in the past. So they should check out what the offer is on our website currently, and Yeah, both products are essentially unlimited, timely unlimited promotions, but we also do offer certain schemes on our website. If people want to have always the best of breed, they can sign in for a subscription, and they will always have the latest and greatest. So we're fairly flexible on what we can offer, and it's depends on the consumer needs.
No, and of course makes perfect sense. So, and again, before we kind of say goodbye, I did. Oh, and like you said, all these are available as standalone products. So some of these mobile apps, I don't really, some of them just kind of make sense with the app that they're associated with. But are there any other mobile apps other than the Airburn that that kind of has you excited?
As I said, some of them only work in combination with a suite. Some of them work completely standalone, or for a certain part at least. So one of the mobile apps is our streaming player, with which you can stream content to connected devices in your household. For example, connect your smartphone where you have your videos of your vacation, and just stream it to your to your smart TV in the living room and watch it there, which makes sense if there's more than you watching, and you don't want to have the whole family sitting around you and on a small device. But it also works as a remote control, accessing content that actually sits on your server that's running with Nero. So basically, you can also use the smartphone then as a remote control and say, "Look, I want to watch that movie which sits on my hard drive, and watch it in the living room, and send that movie directly onto the living room." So that's an interesting one. Mm-hmm. And another one which we just released together with the suite, the 2019 suite, is an application called DriveSpan, which is a application to actually consolidate content from different devices onto from different sources to a new destination. So basically, a little bit what I mentioned earlier with the photos with the duplicates. It gets more complicated than that, because we don't have duplicates just of photos. We have duplicates of right about everything. So duplicates of identical Word files. We have music. I mean, I'm sure I have. Nothing Else Matters by Metallica 5 times on different devices. I don't need that. Well, you do, but yeah. In theory, I do want to have it, but I don't need. In theory, I just would need one, right? Right. So if I want to clean that up, I mean, it's very, very time consuming. Plus, we have, probably all of us have the problem that we have 10, 20 different hard drives at home, and we don't know what's sitting on there, because we just at one period we just put something on there, and we never bothered anymore. So with the DriveSpan, basically, which is an app, I can connect. I can basically use this as a remote control to consolidate that content in content of devices that are connected in my network, and basically say, analyze hard drive A, analyze hard drive B and C, and put it all onto a new hard drive which I just bought, and just to get and just not only copy what's on there, but also consolidate on the fly. So if there are duplicates of any sort, they automatically it will get rid of. It will show you the structure. So basically, it will create thumbnails to say, okay, on this device there was Metallica again. Nothing Else Matters, but you have it here anyway. So you don't need it anymore. So basically, there will be some cleaning up after that. You have to look through that, but you already will have liberated a lot of space, and you can use those old hard drives again, or give them away, whatever you want to do it, and you have it all centralized on in one location, and that's fairly unique, and that's new what we have.
Yeah, no, I'm sensing a pattern that you want to really organize and maintain, and really kind of help people with their digital lifestyle, because it's it's growing pains for a lot of people, myself included. Talk about, just real quick, this last one here. This one looks like it's for Android, but talk about the Nero Tune It Up Cleaner and Booster app, because we've seen products like these for computers. Cleaning out a computer, it's not fun. There's a lot of different programs that you would normally need to do, but I don't really ever hear about maintenance on smartphones, because I don't know if it's just people get rid of them after 2 years and they never think about it. But talk about the Tune It Up Cleaner and Booster app.
Well, this is as the name already suggests. I mean, it's a cleaner and a booster. As you said, a lot of people just seem to change their smartphones every other day, so they don't bother when they get a bit slower. But the more you put on your smartphone, it can be very heavy on a lot of content and a lot of stuff, especially in your temp folder. It can be very heavy on the speed of your smartphone, and that's what we want to where we want to help with, and basically the application really helps you with a couple of clicks to speed up your phone and get rid of content that you don't need anymore, because it slows down the speed and also your storage. So it's also we also have not only this as a mobile phone. This is a booster and a cleaner, but also we have Nero Tune It Up for the PC as a PC performance tool as well. So they're not connected, let's say. So the one is for the smartphone, but for the PC, obviously, and that I think everybody has experienced. The older you have your PC is, the slower it seems to get, because there's so much stuff you put on there. You install and deinstall stuff, and that's for this we have Nero Tune It Up as a PC client to help you for those who are not professionals in working with PCs. It gives you automatically suggestions to what to erase, what to how to make the performance of your PC better. So, and very useful as well.
Yeah, I'm not going to name names, but some of the free utilities that we used to recommend here on the show, they were purchased behind the scenes by a couple of, a couple of them were purchased by a couple companies. Just keep it vague here, and I don't think that we really recommend them anymore. So, always be on the lookout for new optimization software, because what's out there changes, from time to time. But very, very cool that obviously, hey, you have one. I didn't even know that. That's not obviously included, or at least I don't recall it being included with the suite. But
no, it's not. That's not in the suite. It's something which we kept a little bit similar, because it's near the suite is a tool set. It's focusing more on the multimedia usage and performance. We just didn't want to bloat up the suite more. We want to have more focus on the suite, on the multimedia usage, and PC performance it's still connected, but it's a different approach. So that's why we keep it separately.
I gotcha. So all that and more. Just real quick, before we say goodbye, talk about. Actually, we should have mentioned this way at the beginning. What platforms is this available for? Is this strictly Windows, strictly Mac? What do you support?
Well, Nero. I think I mentioned it briefly. I mean, Nero is essentially a PC platform, so it's Windows. It's for Windows. What we do have, as I said, and that's more on the companion side. On the mobile side, we have We have companion apps for iOS and for Android. And as far as drive span, which is the consolidating application for your which sits on your mobile phone is concerned, we also have a Mac client, so you can basically then access also content and consolidate content that sits on your Mac.
Right. Thank you again for repeating that. Talk about, kind of Nero 2019. You guys came out with a lot of new, with a lot of new features for your flagship products, and of course, you continue to develop. Like you said, maybe the last time people, kind of heard from you was back when they were burning CDs, but you guys have not been standing still. A lot of work has been put into this. Anything in particular that you're like, 2019, our video editing tool really hit it out of the park, or what has you excited about your lineup?
Well, on the what's new and which I find very very helpful is the advanced it's called the duplicate manager, which is part of Nero MediaHome, which I mentioned before, that you can actually manage your duplicates and erase your duplicates. And we also included not only that you can detect the duplicates, but also similar pictures, which gets a bit more complex, because with similar pictures we don't know. A duplicate is, you can get rid of anyway, because in the digital world you don't need twice the identical file, right? On the similar pictures, it's more a way of actually helping the users sort pictures that kind of belong together, and say, if I shot a photo of a tree 100 times, maybe 5 times the very similar picture is okay. So basically it has different algorithms that screen the pictures and find similarities, and then say, these pictures kind of belong together, and then it's easy for me, just once they're detected, to see, well, these 103 pictures, I stay with this, and I get rid of the rest. And that's how it does. And also, for example, photos that are, the same photo, but in a different format, for example, would also be a similar pictures. One that's as a JPEG, the other is a bitmap, and I can then select whether I want to stay with the two of them or get rid of one.
Okay, now it's obviously a lot of thought and effort went into that, and I see that some smarts behind the program are when we see other kind of other things that use artificial intelligence, machine learning, whatever. Whenever we see products like that, they only get better with time, and I'm sure it's no different than yours. You are continuing to update these. 2019 is here, but you. Do you know if you come out with new products every single year over year, or how often do you update these?
Yes, we usually we have yearly releases. So and it's as you said, it's more evolutionary progress. So we don't try to reinvent the wheel every year. But we try to add new functionalities on the applications where we believe it do make sense. We sometimes also try to combine and certain use cases and consolidate different applications if we believe that nowadays it stays under one roof. So basically, in the past with Nero, we had probably more than 20 applications at a time, and we try to consolidate that to make the use cases that belonged. For example, Duplicate Manager is part of MediaHome, where you manage your photos anyway. It doesn't make sense to have a separate standalone application sitting there. So we try to make things easier for the consumer, and we try to bring out new features every year. One is what we believe it still makes sense, and another one, a very important one, is obviously the feedback we get from our users, where they say, this still seems to be missing from their side. So So we listen to our consumers and try to find solutions for their needs.
Perfect. I think that's a great way to kind of wrap up this interview. So I'll leave it to you, though, Daniel. If people want to find out more information, where is the best place that they can go?
Well, the best place probably is Nero.com, our website. They will have all information on about the different products, and also there's usually different methods to approach us via email or call us if in case they have further questions. And yeah, always appreciate also being on the air with people like you. So that's also where we believe we can make a difference and get out to the users there. Any feedback from the users is always welcome because it helps us making things better for them and for us.
Perfect. No, and of course we'll include a link to the website in the show notes, computeramerica.com, and of course it might actually be easier, nero.com as well. And trust us, we definitely enjoy having services such as yourself on the program because just knowing what's out there, I think is half the battle. It's a very it's a very competitive field, and there's not really enough time to sit there and really parse through it yourself. So, hey, we like to give that forum, and I want to thank you for, kind of giving us your time. So, everyone, Mr. Daniel Benz, he is the Vice President of Global Sales for Nero, and like I said, sooner than 20 years, we got to have you back on, and thank you for coming on.
Well, definitely, and thanks for having me.
All right, have a great day. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye. All right, everyone, and there he goes. So yeah, that of course a lot of fun to to talk to him, and a lot of fun to get a scoop on these products directly from the company to see what they themselves are excited for, and see that hey, if there's some overlap, you of course can check them out as well. Now, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and rush off into computer and technology news because if we hurry, we have time for just one baby story. So here we go. Now, the one story that we're going to do, because as I said, we only have time for one, we are going to talk about, so here we go. So let's talk about 2019 and what could possibly be the best thing that could happen. So obviously there's a lot not to like about the FCC. The current FCC under the current chairman and the current kind of board that they have there, not a lot of praise. But we will go ahead and mention this because hey, a win's a win. Not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. The FCC pushes carriers to implement caller ID authentication by 2019. So there have been some statistics in over the past couple of weeks that that you've probably heard, such as every 1 out of every 2 calls. That's right, 1 out of every 2. In fact, is a robo-caller, is a spam caller, is someone trying to get you to identify yourself and buy into some horrible scheme that will either steal your credit card, your information, or sell you a product that you do not want. It's a problem. It's a problem to the point where a lot of people are not even answering the phone anymore because unless they recognize the number, then, hey, who's calling them? Why would they ever call them? Now, maybe to help that, because there have been some trickery, and I don't have time to get through all this, but some of the trickery involves spoofing the number so it looks like it's coming from your area. Maybe they'll copy not just the area code, but the first 3 digits, and then change up the rest. Just the other day, we were hanging with family, and my brother actually received a phone call from his own number, and he said, why would they ever do that? Who would fall for that? And I go, you'd be surprised. Some people look at that and say, hey, that's my number. What the heck? And then they pick up just because they want to know what's up. And sometimes the only goal is not to get you to talk or to listen, but to simply verify you are a working number. and that you are available to be sold to more. So with all that being said, the FCC 2019, they are pushing for carriers to, of course, push back against this and make people authenticate that they are indeed who they say they are. That means that you will be able to see that incoming call is actually from a call center in Miami, in India, in wherever those spam callers may be calling from. If they can at least verify and make it impossible to spoof, then that means you can block, and you can block with certainty, knowing that they won't just find a way around it. Whether or not that's easy, we won't know, but hey, we will certainly find out. That's about it. I want to thank Nero for coming on. If you were listening to, or if you missed any part of the show, check us out, computeramerica.com, on all the social medias, as well as wherever podcasts are heard. You can find us there, and it's today's show in its entirety. So, catch us next time, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. You can catch us here, or of course, video chat with a chat room, twitch.tv/Computer America, or our website, computeramerica.com. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining us. And hey, until next time, be good, be safe. Bye-bye, everyone.